Hi, I'm Suzanne, one of the fitness instructors here at Stellar Fit, and today we're going to talk about how to do a basic plank. First off, why is a plank important? Well, a plank is an opportunity to do an exercise with just your body weight, so you can do it anywhere you want, and you don't need any special equipment, and it's going to engage a bunch of muscles. So not only are we engaging your shoulders, your back, you're going to engage all your abdominal muscles, your glutes, and even your hamstring. The third thing, a plank is going to help you maintain balance and develop that skill of balance, which is going to help you if you should get into a situation where you trip, you'll have an easier chance recovering. So these are the reasons why I think planking is so important. And now let's take a look at how to set up a basic plank. Okay, so with the plank, form is really important. I know a lot of people like to go for time. I am one of those people, but I also want you to maintain good form. When thinking about the form of a plank, the most important thing obviously is to be a plank, right? So we want to maintain a nice, straight, neutral alignment of your entire body. So first thing I want you to think about, whatever point is coming into contact with the floor, I want it to be directly below your shoulders. This doesn't change if you're doing a straight arm plank or if you're doing a bent arm plank. In this case, my elbow below my shoulder. So if we start with our point of contact in the ground, our feet, you can kind of tuck the toes under. Your feet are going to be straight in line. Then we go up to our hips, which are going to be straight. We're not going to stick our booty up in the air. And we're not going to do a nice stretch. Feels good, but that's not what we're doing right now. So, keeping our back of our legs, hips in line. Then we move up to our back. Our abs are engaged. Our shoulders, again, nice and straight. No sagging and no pushing up. Then, our gaze. What do we do with our neck and our head? It's really tempting to look around at what everyone's doing around you. But what I want you to do is take that gaze down to the ground, anywhere between 6 inches to about a foot in front of your fingertips, and just look nice and neutral. Now that we have the basic front plank set up, let's take a look at a side plank. Pretty much the same thing as far as point beneath the ground, right beneath our shoulder, point that comes into contact with the ground. The only main difference on a side plank is you want to make sure you keep those hips stacked one over the other. So here I am, nice and stacked. If you're not sure you're getting stacked, have a friend check you to make sure you're not rolling forward or rolling back. You can also do it up against a wall, which not 100% perfect, but it'll give you some indication if you're leaning to the extreme one way or the other. This hand can go wherever it wants. Some like it up here, some like it down here. You can put it here. Just make sure that it doesn't encourage you to rotate forward. So keep those hips stacked. You're not weight bearing. So let's say you're trying your hardest to do a plank and you just can't maintain that form. There's some ways in which you can make a plank easier. Let's start with the front plank. You might find that either straight arm or bent is easier for you. You can play with both kinds. You might also find you can bring your knees down to the ground. Now, when I bring my knees down to the ground, I'm not laying here watching TV, right? I'm still keeping my hips nice and neutral, my abs engaged, neck, everything in a nice straight line. This goes even if I'm down on the ground. Again, I'm not watching TV, right? Keep those hips in line with your spine. Now, if even that proves too challenging, what I might do is I might grab a chair. In this case, I can still do a plank. I'm just giving myself a little extra help. So I can do holding onto a chair, straight leg, or you can do bent leg. Again, watching those hips. Now, if you need to regress it even further, you can do it against a wall where you're just standing up, engaging your core against the wall. How do we make a side plank easier? So again, you can play with the positioning of your support arm. You might find bent is easier, or you might find straight arm is easier. The other option you have, let's say bent is easier for you and you're here and you just can't maintain that good form, go ahead, drop that bottom leg. Now I'm dropping that leg, but I'm still engaging my abs and my oblique is still tight. So I'm still using those muscles, I'm just making it a little easier on myself. Let's say that planks are your thing and you need to make it a little more challenging. The easiest way to make a front plank challenging, well, to make anything challenging, is to add instability. So what you might do on your front plank, if you want a little bit of a challenge, maintaining good form, the quickest way to become unstable is to lift up a limb. I can lift up an arm, I can lift up a leg, I can lift up an arm and leg. The thing with this, you want to be careful that you don't start rotating that torso. You can also, if you happen to have a yoga ball, or even an air mattress, or a super fluffy pillow, or something that's going to give you some instability, is you can just do your plank here. Boom, there you go. Okay, so how are you going to make a side plank harder? Again, we're going to go for that instability. So if I am doing my side plank, boom, and I can do this all day long, maintaining my good form, I can add some rotation. Rotating, tucking that arm underneath. That is going to make the balance a little more challenging, as well as make sure those obliques are staying engaged. The other thing I can do is I can raise a leg. Again, adding that instability, making that balance more difficult. So that is how we would make both a front plank and a side plank more challenging. Okay, so now you know how to do a proper plank, how to make it easier or harder. Remember, form over time, hands down. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and follow. Also, if you'd like to be included in our upcoming Planksgiving Challenge, leave a note in the comments and I'll get that information to you. Thank you and happy planking.